Hi, welcome to HigherRoadToYou. This is Mark Stouffer. And in this video, I want to share something that really made a huge impact in my life. And I share that a counselor took me aside. He saw the, crab bucket syndrome, the toxic, environment that I was growing up in, and it was not pretty. And he took me aside and he set me down a direction to inspire me to go to a trade school and learn a trade. He says, the difference between a job and a career is something you love to do and they pay you for it. And in that meeting, he says, hey, decide what you want to do. And I said, I want to be an electrician. And he was so excited for me. He was so excited. And granted, I was failing miserably. He goes, school is not for everybody, right? And I would say that, if you find something that you can be passionate about and get paid for it, I'm trying to work with high-risk kids, okay? And now they're putting together a program for these kids where they're restoring old vehicles, vintage cars, and they do quite well. It's a $35 billion industry, and there's a strong demand for that skill set, and these kids are loving it, right? Can you imagine, right? Making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year doing something that you love, restoring vintage cars, and be involved in that industry. It is a thriving industry. And with that, I went to recently. It was an event, and it was food and wine. And I was talking to all these chefs, and they're tattooed all up and down their arms and on their neck. And I just had a good conversation and talking about these high-risk kids, and it's Rancho Cielo, and they talked about their background and where they came from, and it was like, wow, they started culinary at this school. And I was like, really, is that something that is really worth, learning? And they said, absolutely. The demand is so high, and it's game on, man. It's just physically demanding. And it's like the shows you watch. I don't watch too much TV. I travel a lot. I don't turn the TV on unless I don't know. It's very rare that I turn the TV on, and I try to venture out. And I'm so tired that I look forward to just hitting that pillow, and I go down in seconds. And so that's when I know I've done well. Nutrition, physical and social activity every day. And then now I'm in San Francisco, and I'm at a convention and 3-day conference on AI, and I'm just blown away. Totally blown away. But my point is this, is that if we should, suffer, may it have purpose, okay? In my family, the TV was on 24/7, and everybody's talking shit about everybody, the president, the government, whatever. And they had no impact whatsoever. And my proposal would be they should have been taking where they were giving, and giving where they should have been taking, right? The Western culture, we get it ass backwards, right? We spend so much time in those processed food aisles. It doesn't end well, and it's hard to watch, right? I'm thankful that a counselor came beside me. I'm thankful that I had coaches that were really hard on me. I was going to put change in a soda machine at high school campus, and he shocked me, and I was like, and get away from that crap, and he was so adamant about it. I said, I didn't know I was thirsty, and we drink sodas at our house, and he's like, no, that stuff, you don't want that toxic crap in your body, and it taught me about nutrition. It taught me about how important it was to be healthy while you're training. And you want to be a good athlete. It's more about the repetition. Yeah, that's really important. Just practicing over and over and over. But being healthy, doing it, physically healthy and nutritionally healthy helps a lot. It really does. And then you really get to introduce yourself into a different level of play, right? So it allowed me to escape this crab bucket syndrome, toxic environment that I was growing up in, and spend more time really just navigating the world, right? It opened my eyes to so much possibility. And now I'm in San Francisco, and I'm just in awe of what's going on. And there's all these cars that are self-driving cars, Waymos. They're all over the place. Nobody's behind the wheel. So I think that not only should we, our pain and suffering have purpose, right? Let's avoid the unnecessary pain and suffering, and let's focus on the pain and suffering that matters the most, and have it purpose, right? And so, as we exercise, as we climb those mountains and hike with groups of people that are just healthy minded, while we're out in that environment, might we enjoy that pain and suffering as it has a purpose to build a foundation for you, so you have resiliency when the storms come, and that's when it matters the most. So may it have purpose. May your suffering have purpose. So that's my mind set today is to really just speak to the hearts and minds of anybody that just in front of that screen watching this toxic stuff. They have no impact. Stop whining about what the politics, what politics are doing and the government's doing, the president's doing. If you have no influence at all whatsoever, what does it matter? Why would you waste that energy? Why would you, feed yourself that toxic energy, and just, disrupt your life? It doesn't make sense to me at all. And so I choose not to watch it. If I have impact, if I have influence, well, I'm in, and if I want to see it go down the right path, I'm in. But I know my universe, and I know what I have influence over, and I know what I involve myself in so that I can continue to build that foundation to grow from and to have that resiliency when the challenges come. And try to avoid them too. When you see the white caps and the cloud formation, it turns the boat around. You start to see them faster, and you're more, in tune because you're healthy. Nutrition, physical and social activity every day, and with anything you're going to build, it's time cost, material cost, labor cost, and the other cost is frustration. Frustration being the biggest cost. So you start to see those white caps and those cloud formation, and you see the frustration on the horizon, and you turn around, you redirect that boat, and you learn how to navigate the storms much easier, and for the purpose of really giving back, really not just to yourself, not treating yourself well, but also treating the people that you choose to have in your circle of influence, whoever they might be. And a lot of times, it's not family. Maybe that family, if they're pampering you, they're coddling you, they're enabling you, that's not healthy at all. So if you're sitting in front of the TV with your family, maybe you should step into another direction like I did, and I'm so thankful. Never look back. Never look back. And I'm really thankful for Mr. Ostrich, my counselor, who took me aside and got me into that trade school, and then got me into a healthier lifestyle in sports. Coaches like the manager, the boss, teammates, the coworkers, people in stands of the customers, and you learn life lessons. You give 100%. You put your foot on the field. You don't give 100%. Everybody lets you know it. Welcome to life. That we're always on display. So, yeah, that's the way it plays out. So with that, I hope this message finds you well. Thank you for watching Higher Road to You content, and this is where you take action. Nothing happens without action. Please share your story on how you incorporated nutrition, physical and social activity, how you incorporated accountability in your life, how you didn't ignore, you didn't deny, you didn't blame, but you pivoted through a difficult challenge in your life. And how did you build that foundation to overcome and thrive? And I hope this content allows you to enjoy the journey of that, right? That would be the biggest blessing for me. Share your story, share your milestones, encourage and inspire others. And with that, I wish you well.